I disappeared for 3 weeks. No warning, no explanation, just unavailable. And you know what happened? Everything that I was needed for, it handled itself. Turns out, they didn't need me. They were just used to having me. And there's a really big difference. Let me tell you what being available actually costs. Because what this video is really about is learning the difference between available and being accessible, and why your peace depends on knowing the difference. It always starts small. A text, a quick favor. Hey, do you have a second? And you answer because you can, because you're kind, and because it's not that deep. And then it all shifts. It stops being a moment and becomes a pattern. Suddenly, you're the friend who always picks up, the coworker who stays late, and the woman who rearranges her entire day because it's fine. And somewhere in all of that overextending, you stop being a person and you become a resource. The truth most of us never say out loud: unavailability isn't about being cold or cruel or difficult. Unavailability is protection. It's the art of creating space between you and everyone else's urgency, between who you are and who they expect you to be. It's like saying, I'm not always accessible. My time is sacred. My energy has a limit. Here's the part that feels absolutely radical. Unavailability doesn't mean that you don't care. It means you understand your value. It means you finally understand that silence isn't rude and that no is a complete sentence. There's a difference between withdrawing out of avoidance and withdrawing to stay aligned. And if you're new here, my name is Haley Everly, and this is the Cafe Everly, where calm is currency and every conversation is a gentle return home. Here we sip truth, slow down, and remember who we are beneath all the noise. There is a verse that stays with me. It's Mark 1:35. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went to a solitary place where he prayed. Still dark, solitary, unavailable. And the part that gets me is this: he was surrounded by people who needed him. People who were desperate, who were hurting and waiting on him, and he still walked away. Not because he didn't care, but because presence takes power, and power needs a source. Jesus withdrew so he could stay aligned. He stepped away so he could show up. He protected his peace so he could protect his purpose. And if he needed that kind of distance to stay grounded, why do we think that we don't? This is why I always say, unavailability isn't just strategic, it's sacred. It's the space where you stop performing for people and you start receiving from God. It's where your identity gets quiet again and where your peace gets restored. It's where your presence gets rebuilt, because you can't pour from a presence you do not have. And you can't carry a purpose you never pause to refill. You want to know what I learned when I finally went unavailable? The people who truly respected me respected my absence. And the people who were using me, they got upset, because unavailability reveals something most of us don't want to see: who actually values you. and who only values your function. The ones who love you are going to tell you, take your time, I'm here when you're ready. And the ones who need you, they'll say, why aren't you answering? I need you. Where did you go? That distinction, it'll save your life, because when you become unavailable, the right people will wait, the wrong people will fall off, and the urgent things either resolve themselves or reveal that it was never your responsibility in the first place. I watched people solve their own problems. I watched my absence make space for others to step up. And I watched my relationships rearrange themselves without me holding everything together. And the wildest part, my life didn't fall apart. It got substantially lighter, because becoming unavailable was the most liberating thing that I've ever done. So let's talk about what this looks like in real life. How do you actually practice unavailability without guilt? The first thing is simple. Stop offering what you don't actually have, right? A lot of us say, I'm always here if you need me, not because we truly mean always, but because we want to be kind. And we're afraid of disappointing someone we care about. You don't have to stop being warm. You just have to stop promising access that you can't sustain. The second thing is to build rhythm, not walls. Unavailability is not complete isolation, but it is structure. So things like, I'll get back to your message later this afternoon, or I take my Sundays to reset. Let me think about that before I commit, or I need a day or two to respond. That is not rejection. That is rhythm. And it teaches your nervous system and the people around you that you are not on call. You are a person with a life too. And the third thing, the hardest one, let people feel however they feel, because someone being disappointed doesn't mean you did something wrong. Someone wanting more of you doesn't mean that you need to have more to give. Their reaction isn't your emergency. The right people will adjust, and the right people will respect the pace that you set, and the right people will never take your boundaries as abandonment. Here's the truth that I learned. Your presence is a gift, but it's only a gift when you actually have it to give. When you honor your limits, you protect the version of you that your family, your children, and the people who truly love you actually need. And that's the whole point of unavailability. Not to pull away from the world, but to stay present in your own life. And here's what no one tells you about what happens when you become unavailable. It actually makes you more valuable, but not in a manipulative type of way, and definitely not in a play hard to get type of thing. That's never what it's supposed to be. People start to lean in differently. Your yes carries a lot more weight. Your time feels intentional, and your presence feels chosen. So unavailability isn't about creating scarcity. It's about returning to alignment. It's about showing up with a full heart instead of showing up out of obligation. When you do that, you stop being the person people reach for by reflex, and you become the person they reach for with respect. And that goes for friendships, relationships, situationships, family. So the real question is, how do I stay present for the places God actually has assigned me to? Because the art of being unavailable is about returning to yourself, returning to your peace, returning to the moments that deserve your full presence. You don't owe anyone unlimited access to you, not your time, not your attention, and not your emotional bandwidth. But you do owe yourself the quiet space to hear God, to restore your soul, and to remember who you are. And when you protect that, everything else in your life starts to align. I'll see you next time at the cafe. Until then, protect your peace, honor your softness, and let God remind you that you are already enough.